Hello, my name is Chris Keyack with Keyack Technology Solutions. I'm a Tekla Structures trainer and consultant, and in this series of videos, we're going to talk about the AGT Robotic Welding Machine workflow in working with MBS as well as Tekla Structures. Now, when manufacturers purchase their welding robot, they make a decision whether they're going to detail directly in Tekla Structures to create their shop and erection drawings, or whether or not they're going to continue to detail in MBS and AutoCAD alone. So here I'm just going to show you that this is a rafter assembly drawing or shop drawing automatically generated from the Tekla Structures model. Now, one advantage to detailing directly out of Tekla is if there's any changes to the model, then the shop drawings and the erection drawings, as well as the bill of materials and CNC files, all automatically update to those changes. So that's different than working in AutoCAD and changing things manually in AutoCAD and having to update those manually across all those different sources. Now, although we can do the detailing in Tekla, it's not always practical for all manufacturers. On simple jobs like this, we can see here that if we just go to the drawings that are created by MBS, we'll see that there's very little cleanup or adjustment that we would need to do in AutoCAD outside of MBS. And so here it doesn't make sense to recreate those shop and erection drawings in Tekla, and instead we'll only create the 3D model in Tekla using SlideRule, so that way we can get the AGT export. We're going to showcase how to set up the MBS SlideRule import into Tekla, so that way all of the piece marks will match between MBS and Tekla Structures. Here you can see that these are the MBS marks, and I can see that I have forced Tekla to match those on both the column and the rafter here. We'll also take a brief look at some of the weld options in the SlideRule.ini file, which allow you to configure an optimal export for the AGT machine. To make it easier to understand all of those settings and how they impact the export for the AGT, we've created this visual guide that shows a lot of pictures and the impact of each of those different settings. Now, one other important part of this training series is we're going to talk about how to match changes that were done manually in AutoCAD outside of MBS and make sure that those changes that could impact the welding robot have also been modified or changed in Tekla Structures, so that way there's no discrepancies between the 3D model as well as the 2D AutoCAD drawings. And here you can see that we've actually got some tags that we can add to the title block to help communicate between detailing, checking, project management, as well as the shop. We'll then showcase how to run the AGT export from the Tekla Structures model, and you can either do this on all of the assemblies or based on a selection filter in the model, so that way you're only exporting the assemblies that the AGT will actually be able to process. Now, for any parts that had to be modified outside of MBS, you can create supplemental CNC files directly from the Tekla Structures model. Here we can generate NC1 files or DSTV files of either hot rolled or plates, as well as generate DXF files for your plate nesting software. You can control the export layer names from within Tekla Structures to make sure that inside of the DXF files they match the operations and layer names that are required by your nesting software. If there were a significant amount of changes inside of Tekla outside of MBS, you can then also run a supplemental shipper file, which is then just a partial representation of the things that you changed, and then you can run that into the Excel shipper utility and copy paste that into your main shipper that has been exported from MBS. And then to help you execute this on production jobs, we've created a checklist here, so that way it's easy for you to remember all of the steps that you need in order to create your exports. And again, my name is Chris Keyack with Keyack Technology Solutions, and I'm going to be your trainer, and we look forward to getting you up and running in this MBS SlideRule to Tekla to AGT Robotic Welding Machine workflow.